yesterday we were kind of wondering, I mean, it was even an uncertainty, like, if storms were really going to pop. Well, at this point, we're pretty confident storms are going to pop up this afternoon, which is why if you saw my earlier post, slight risk for severe weather, looks good. The good news is the tornado threat has still stayed pretty low, and a lot of that's because lower level moisture just isn't there, especially after this morning's thunderstorms as we work further east. So that's good news. Now, it doesn't mean that there's zero tornado threat, but it does mean that it's significantly lower than it could be if we had a lot of surface moisture. So that's some of the really good news. That also, the lack of surface moisture also leads to a lack of instability. And we need unstable air to keep thunderstorms going and strengthen. The confidence is that storms are going to form on a dry line in the western portions of Texoma and then push off to the east. So off top here, when you're asking me for locations, today's not a day to ask about a certain location because really, with how it's set up, I would say everyone has a pretty equal chance at a storm. That's just kind of how it goes this afternoon. It's going to be hit and miss. Not everyone's going to see a thunderstorm. It does look like more convection quite a bit than yesterday, meaning more thunderstorms. So that's going to be the main thing that we watch here. I'll go ahead and show you the outlook. I pulled it up. The reason I'm sitting here is because I actually have a desktop computer that I use right here that I can remote into the station. And so you can see, here's our risk for today. Most of the areas in that slight risk, the marginal risk areas, you still have a good chance for a thunderstorm, but the thing is that the storms are really going to form a little bit further off to the west on a dry line, and then they're going to push off to the east, and they probably won't have enough time to strengthen too much here as they work into our western counties, but as they push off to the east, that gives them more time to really get going, and that's why the risk is a little bit higher further off to the east. I'll also show you the tornado risk. The tornado risk is just about the same. It's very low across all of Texoma. Very low does not mean that there's zero chance. It just means that a lot of times we see very low across the entire area. A lot of times we might get a warning in some spots. So it means you want to be weather aware this afternoon, but the slightly higher risk, which is still on the low end, is further off to the north across more of western and into central Oklahoma. So that's good news for us because we really have questionable surface moisture here as we go into this evening.